Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We've got an absolutely crucial topic lined up today, one that touches pretty much every single family, educator, and community out there. We're talking about how to overcome complex youth behavioral challenges so we can truly nurture the potential of the next generation. Now, I know that sounds like a massive undertaking, but the insights we're unpacking today frame it all in a wonderfully structured and honestly, an incredibly hopeful way.
Okay, let's dive into this. Do complex problems always require complex solutions? It's a fascinating philosophical hook to start us off, isn't it? See, when we face a huge, tangled issue, especially when it involves human behavior or, our kids, our gut instinct is to assume the answer just has to be equally massive and tangled. We go looking for these incredibly complicated fixes. But what if we've got that entirely backwards?
Section 1. Complex problems, simple solutions. Before we look at childhood issues, let's take a quick look in the mirror to build a bit of a foundation. Boredom, inaction, lethargy, excess weight, right? If you're an adult dealing with literally any of these everyday struggles, you know firsthand that they feel incredibly heavy. They completely drag down your energy and your mood. And when you're stuck in that cycle, finding a way out just feels like a monumental, overwhelmingly complex task. But here is where the perspective shifts. The antidote to those heavy, complicated adult problems is actually surprisingly fundamental. It turns out your mother was totally right. Eat a vegetable and go outside. It really all boils down to simple lifestyle changes. Healthy food, regular exercise, and just being amongst nature and greenery. We don't always need some convoluted, multi-step intervention. Sometimes we just need to return to the basics. The solution is simple, even if the problem itself feels incredibly complex. Section 2. The Modern Childhood Crisis.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how that adult framework maps onto the next generation. We see a direct parallel here. The adult struggles we just talked about, like lethargy and excess weight, they map directly onto the modern child's struggles of inattention and excess digital consumption. The fundamental nature of the struggle is exactly the same, It's just mutating based on their age and the environment they're growing up in.
Let's look a little closer at these specific youth challenges. Inattention to studies, excess digital consumption, loneliness, laziness, falling into a bad friend circle. I really want us to pause on excess digital consumption and loneliness for a second. These are severe, pressing realities for so many kids today. It's this deeply isolating experience wrapped in just constant digital noise. It's absolutely heartbreaking to witness as a parent or mentor. And much like those adult issues, it feels like a hopelessly complex knot to untangle. Section 3. The Cost of Inaction. Now, identifying the problem is only half the battle. We have to face what happens if we just let this slide. The source material drops a loud, clear warning here. If it is left unaddressed, it can lead to serious complications later. And what's absolutely crucial to note is that the text repeats this exact phrase twice. It uses it once when warning about the adult struggles, and then it repeats it, word for word, when warning about childhood struggles. That repetition is a very intentional warning. Ignoring these fundamental issues does not make them go away. It just makes them mutate. And what exactly do they mutate into? Well, the text outlines some pretty heavy long-term consequences. Physical or mental health issues, chronic underachievement, disgruntlement. Let the heavy weight of those terms truly sink in for a moment. Chronic underachievement. That is a lifetime of never realizing what you are truly capable of. And disgruntlement. A persistent, deep-seated dissatisfaction with life. For any parents or educators watching, this is exactly the kind of stuff that keeps us up at night. This is the ultimate cost of doing nothing. Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 4. Cultivating success behaviors. Okay, so we face the severe consequences, and now we arrive at the proactive, hopeful remedy. The source introduces this concept of developing success behaviors. What are they? Basically, they are actionable lifestyle changes and habits designed specifically to counteract those intense modern pressures and ultimately nurture a child's full potential. Just like getting outside and eating right were the simple remedies for adults, instilling these success behaviors is the direct, simple remedy to those complex childhood issues like digital addiction and loneliness. But we do have to acknowledge reality here. The external environment exerts a constant lure and pressure to comply and compare. It is incredibly hard for a child to build these behaviors alone because the world is just constantly pushing against them. Between social media, peer groups, and societal expectations, it's this relentless pressure cooker demanding that they comply and compare themselves to everyone else. We really need to have real empathy for just how difficult their everyday environment truly is. And that is exactly where structured guidance comes in.
The text highlights the Yancha program, which is a comprehensive, evidence-based developmental framework designed to build resilience and positive life habits. What is so fantastic about this approach is that it is not some quick weekend fix. It is a continuous pathway. It's about guiding a child starting all the way from age 4, right through those tricky middle years around 12, and all the way into young adulthood at 21. It provides a consistent, reliable framework to help them resist that intense external pressure. So what is the ultimate goal of all this structured guidance? As you can see, it's achieving age-appropriate physical and mental well-being. And this directly results in a healthy, happy, driven, and curious child. Think back to those dark consequences we saw earlier, the underachievement, the disgruntlement. These developmental outcomes are the exact opposite. Cultivating these success behaviors actively neutralizes the cost of inaction.
Section 5. Giving kids a fair chance. To wrap this all up, I want to bring everything back to our core motivation. The stakes really couldn't be higher, and the source text leaves us with this powerful directive. Ensure that you give your child a fair chance, because they deserve it, because they need it. It's such an earnest, deeply emotional plea. In a world full of complex lures and overwhelming pressures, providing a simple structure for kids to develop success behaviors isn't just a nice idea, it is a fundamental duty. They absolutely deserve that chance, and they desperately need it to thrive. So the absolutely crucial takeaway is this. We don't have to be paralyzed by the sheer complexity of modern childhood. We return to our opening philosophy. If complex problems require simple solutions, what success behaviors will you start cultivating in the next generation today? I want to leave you with that question to really ponder. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope this structured look at nurturing potential has sparked your curiosity and left you inspired to take action.